We're going to go ahead and call this meeting to order for March 28th, 2017, the Greer City Council. We've got a pretty good agenda, so we're going to jump right into it. If you would, I'd ask you to stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance, and then I'll offer the invocation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And just a note, tonight we'd like to send our prayers out to the people in Lyman, South Carolina. Their mayor, Tony Gillespie, passed away today, and we'd like to send our prayers out and our thoughts to them. Heavenly Father, we're grateful for this day that you have provided for us and for this exceptional place that you have created in which we live, and we seek your blessings, your guidance, and your approval for our decisions and actions, that they will fulfill your will and improve the lives of those we serve. We especially pray for those who serve and defend our country far from their homes and in harm's way. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Ms. Duncan, do we have anyone for the public forum? All right, thank you. Council, we have the minutes of the March 14th meeting in front of you. We'll entertain a motion to accept.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Ms. Duncan?
Mr. Airwood?
Yes.
Mr. Dumas?
Yes.
Ms. Albert?
Yes.
Mr. Bettis?
Yes. As always, if you have any questions about that, Ms. Duncan is available. And we have some special recognition that we're going to do. I'd like to ask Chief Reynolds to join us up here. Check. Chief. Mayor Danner told me that he was very upset that he couldn't be here to do this because you know what a pleasure it is for him and council to recognize all members of our employees here, but especially, I won't say especially when it's leaving, but but especially one who has done such a great job as you have. You came here, we had a good police department, and I truly believe that you have elevated it to a great one. It's been one that has gained a lot of respect, more respect. People have gotten to know you and know really the terrific job that you do here and have done for us. And we all thank you for the job that you have done and wish you well in your new endeavors. I'm going to read this certificate, and then I'm going to give you a chance to say something in just a minute. This one's real short because it doesn't have the payday, day off with pay and all that. Certificate of Appreciation. Congratulations upon your retirement from the City of Greer. Presented in appreciation of 12 years of dedicated service to the City of Greer, February 2nd, 2005 to March 31st, 2017. Dan Reynolds. Given at Greer, South Carolina, the 28th day of March, 2017. Now I have something else for you. For the outstanding job that you have done for us here. In recognition and appreciation of service to the City of Greer from 2005 to 2017, providing strong leadership to the police department and ensuring that community-oriented policing remained always at the forefront of the department's mission. Mayor Rick Danner asked me to proudly present this key to the City of Greer to Daniel D. Reynolds this March 28, 2017, and best wishes for good health and happiness in retirement. Thank you, Chief. Congratulations. Now I'm going to let Ed take over here and do the traditional gift.
And Chief, on behalf of
Mayor, City Council, and all the employees of the city, we want to present you with this retirement clock. We understand that you may have a place for it at your new home in Bluffton, and we hope that when you look at it, you will think of us fondly and remember your years here at the City of Greer. Again, best wishes to you upon your retirement. To you and to Dawn, we wish best wishes. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Get back. Okay, you had it.
I know we have a very good police department, a great police department, and that's a result of all the efforts on the part of all the members of that department, my command staff, the supervisors and the officers, the dispatchers, detention people, all these people that work at the police department, administrative people too, who work together. The place is a fun place to work. I have enjoyed every year I've been there. I've had a lot of jokes pulled on me, which made it a special place, and I'll never forget it. My wife and I also want to thank my wife for her support to come up here with me and join this great organization. I am sad to leave here, but it's time to go. 46 years in police work is all I can handle. Thank you.
We have some other recognition to do. This is a resolution recognizing and commending City of Greer employees. Whereas the City of Greer endeavors to recognize and reward its dedicated and faithful employees, and whereas Scott Merrill has served in the fire department for 5 years, and Kathy Mayer has served in the police department for 10 years, and whereas these employees have served in a distinguished and professional manner, now be it therefore resolved that the City Council of the City of Greer, South Carolina, in a meeting duly assembled, wishes to officially recognize and commend these employees for the distinguished and dedicated service which they have performed. Be it further resolved that the City of Greer hereby rewards these dedicated employees with a certificate of appreciation and an administrative day off with pay. Approved this the 28th day of March, 2017. Scott, come on up and get your achievement certificate. Congratulations. Thank you. Stay up here with us. Kathy? Congratulations. Thank you. Stay up here with us if anybody wants to get a picture. This is a great example of longevity here of our employees. We have so many people who like it here. They stay here, and that's a good thing. The continued knowledge that they have is a great thing for the city, and we enjoy recognizing the council and mayor all enjoy it, and city administrator. Give them a big hand, please. That takes us to the departmental reports. Susan has the financials for us this evening.
Good evening. I have the financials as of February the 28th, 2017. I'll start out with the general fund. Our year-to-date revenue is $15,115,936. Our year-to-date expenditures are $12,577,634. When you compare the actuals to the budget, for our revenue, we're over by almost $1.7 million, and our expenditures under budget by almost $1.1 million, leaving us a combined positive variance of $2,760,464. Our general fund balance is $13,202,239. Now I'll move on to the hospitality fund. Our year-to-date revenue is $1,349,000. The expenditures are $270,660, and the cash balance is $2,076,071. And finally, the stormwater fund. The year-to-date revenue is $275,520. The expenditures are $158,475, and we have a cash balance of $1,148,958. And that's it for February.
Council, any questions? If not, thank you, ma'am. As always, I urge members of council to look through the departmental reports. There's a lot of good information there. And Kirsten Presley is going to tell us everything you need to know about the courts.
Good evening. I'm pleased to come before you tonight to share with you a snapshot of what February held for our municipal court. This allows me a chance to quantify our work and let you kind of see just day-to-daily what we do and what kind of money we handle on a monthly basis, and what kind of caseload we have on a monthly basis. So for the month of February, there was a total of 620 cases filed by the police department. That's combined warrants and tickets. They're all charges made by the police department sent to us to process. We processed out 526 that month. Each month I give you a 4-month comparison just so you can kind of see that it's a pretty steady number. Sometimes the charts look like there's a big variance, but it's usually within about 200 cases. We usually average somewhere between 400 and 600, 650 cases. That's pretty normal for us, and we usually dispose of about the same amount. I also like to show you the comparison from the year before just to see where we're moving as the city grows. Actually, this time we were down a little bit, and there's a lot of factors as far as what kind of personnel has training, what numbers there are at the police department, what activities they have going on. Everything we do is reactive to what they do. And compared to a year ago, it was 678 cases a year ago that they made. It was 620 this year, so really very close. We issued 100 arrest warrants and conducted 140 arraignments. Those are your bond hearings to determine if someone can get out of jail and if they have to pay an amount to get out to secure their release. Out of those, with those 140 defendants, there was a total of 266 charges. The significance there is that each charge requires extra paperwork, so it's more than just one set of paperwork per defendant. It depends on which county, if they're city level, if they're general sessions level, so that generates a great deal of work the more charges that they have. We issued 40 bench warrants. Those are contempt of court. Either they didn't come or they did not comply with a court order from the judge. Out of the 40, we had 33 that were satisfied. By satisfied, they could have paid their fine or they could have done their jail time. They could have either turned themselves in or the police could have picked them up on those. And we issued 5 search warrants for the police department. Total money collected for the month was $54,283.68. Out of that, the revenue that remained in the city was $20,002.73. $29,384.58 was sent to the state as their portion of that. And then there's a small portion that remains for victims' assistance, which is set by law, and that was $3,612.74. I normally give you a 3-month snapshot of that to look at how the money plays out, and it was really it's pretty much the same for the last couple months. It's really within about $1,000 difference. And then in comparison to 2016 was not our normal February. We collected $87,000 that year, but we were in the middle of a project collecting money where we had sent out an enormous amount of letters giving people the opportunity to clear up warrants and those kind of things. So February is not normally an $87,000 month, more in the 55 range where we were this time. The actual revenue was down about 35%. We had traffic court on February 1st, 8th, 15th, and 22nd. We have it every Wednesday. If there are 5 Wednesdays in the month, we do take one Wednesday as an administrative day to catch up. Of course, that's not the case in February. We did not have domestic violence court. We were in a little bit of a transition period where the Attorney General's office was not sure about continuing the program. Once we convinced them to stay with Greer, then the prosecutor for them resigned. So we had to skip the month of February and get back on track in March, which we are. And they're back with us full force, and our program's still intact. We had general sessions preliminary hearings on February 3rd. Those are for General Sessions Court for Greenville to determine probable cause for the General Sessions cases. We had pretrial conferences on February 21st, and those determine what cases are going to go to our jury trial docket, which we do those 6 weeks a year. Several of us attended training, which again, I always push training, and so anytime I can get somebody there, then I have them there. This happened to be a gun law class, and there was 3 of us that attended. This week, as we speak, I have Ann Pitts, who's our newest ministerial recorder for 3rd shift. She's actually at the police academy right now. That's where they hold judges training. 2-week training, and normally there's an exam afterwards that they have to pass to become a judge. She actually passed the exam before she took the course, so she can just enjoy the class this time. She has a very, very diverse criminal justice background. We felt like she could go ahead and take that exam much earlier than most, and she did not fail it. She passed it with flying colors, just as we would have expected from her. We also have a newer clerk that we took from the police department. She was a great employee for them, but we have Erin Tremblay, who is our newest court clerk, that took over Ann Pitt's position. It was nice to be able to hire from within the city, and she's doing a fantastic job for us. So she's a face that's at our front counter now that used to be with the police department. Along with that, the other main thing that I've been doing is tracking legislation. There's about a dozen bills out right now that will either directly or indirectly impact us. So I do track those every month. Some of them may have a financial impact because, of course, they have to do with expungements again. That, I think, will never die. So we're tracking those, and then there's several new laws that they're trying to pass. Some will be brand new laws, some will be changes in penalties, some will be changes in elements of the crimes, all of which will have some impact on our court, since all of the charges start with us, no matter if it's a traffic offense or a murder charge. So even if the legislation is for General Sessions Court, it's going to start in an hour, so it will have some impact on us. Other than that, I can take any questions.
Council, any questions for Kirsten? The Victims Assistance Fund.
Yes.
Do we get to keep that money here?
We
and
do.
We can spend it at our discretion, or?
It is very guided by law, but it goes into a fund that the victim's advocate can use as long as it's an approved use of it for the victims that we have. But it is set out by law. It's a percentage from every fine. Out of 107.5% of the fine assessed, it's 11.16% of that. So, but it does stay here for use for the victims that are in the city.
You see a lot of numbers.
Yes, lots of numbers.
You do a great job.
Thank you.
Anything else? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah. That brings us to the City Administrator's report.
Thank you, sir. Members of council, your last reminder, if you have not yet filed your statement of economic interest, it is now due. So there will be no more reminders coming after tonight, more commonly referred to as your ethics report, but your annual statement of economic interest are now due to the State Ethics Commission. I want to make sure we get those in. A couple of things that are happening for us. Want to bring you up to speed a bit as an assessment from our storm last week. We did have some damaged property ourselves as a matter of the hailstorm that we had here in the community. We have a few vehicles that sustained some damage, as you can imagine. That would be emergency vehicles because that's where we were called. So as that storm was occurring, emergency vehicles were dispatched to that area. I think we've got 3 police cars maybe, is that right, Mike?
Aware of 2, and then 2 others in another department as well.
Okay, so about 4 vehicles total that we've sustained some damage. We're assessing that. And then, of course, we're doing a complete inspection of all of our property, particularly rooftops, those roofs that we have the membrane roof systems. Hail can be very damaging to those. So we're doing inspections of all of that property. And then, of course, our Parks and Recreation Department, making sure that all of our facilities and our grounds, whether we sustained any damage relative to that as well. If we believe that those damages were sufficient that would require us to file a claim against our insurance, then we certainly would do that. But in any regard, it is our intent to make sure that we make repairs to any damage as a result of that. Where we are feeling the biggest impact as a result of the storm is obviously in our Building and Development Standards Office. And as you can imagine, that is for roofing permits. There are a great number of requests already coming in. However, we do caution our community that we want to make sure that our community are using licensed contractors for that work. So we're using our media outlets as well as those resources that we have available to us, our web page, our social media outlets, to make sure that we are communicating with our citizens that we want to make sure that they are not taken advantage of by potentially unscrupulous folks that may be looking to do some of those repairs. So we're encouraging folks to use licensed contractors. We're certainly asking them to check with us. We do issue permits for all of that work. And we're hoping that that will run as smoothly as it possibly can. As you are well aware, we experienced the same event about a year ago. And I think we had about 1,700 roofing permits that we issued as a result of that storm a year ago. And we're anticipating that we may have as many this year as we go forward. So we'll continue to keep a look on that. One of the things that we do get questions about are the what we kind of call the tent repair areas that will start to pop up around. We are finding that that is definitely a convenience for citizens in our area. You'll typically see those in parking lots like Home Depot, Lowe's, those larger type areas. We are making sure that those are safe structures as well, and so we do inspect those to make sure that they are safe for folks that are coming in, not only for our citizens that are using those facilities, but the folks that are working in those as well. We're continuing to get some requests for retrofits of some properties, some buildings that would be used for repair, particularly auto repair. And we're being able to, so far, we've been able to accommodate those because they typically are a change of use. Our objective is to make sure that we are ensuring for life and health safety, and if we are able to meet those requirements, then we are allowing for those temporary certificates of occupancy so that those properties can be used. Again, our attempt is trying to make it as easy as we possibly can for our residents that are needing to file claims with their insurance companies and to get repairs made either to their homes or to their vehicles. So we're starting to see a good bit of that starting to pop up around the community as well. I hope you noticed as you were coming in the building that we've just, this past weekend, had the reception for our annual art exhibit. Those pieces are now displayed. Winning pieces are in our lobby. Additional pieces are on display in the carpeted lobby, the outer lobby here as well. I encourage you to stop by and take a look. Many of these folks are people that we know, people that we see in our community on a regular basis. We have very talented people here in our community. And as you are aware, we purchase some of that artwork each year, and we place that art on exhibit here in City Hall. And we've been doing that since our first art show. So we're starting to get a very nice collection of award-winning art pieces here in the community, and being able to place those on exhibit here at City Hall. So please stop by and try to take a look at those if your schedule will allow for that as well. A couple of calendar items that I want to make you aware of. One, you probably noticed as you were coming in this evening, there's a large crowd of people in downtown. That is the annual Touch a Truck event. It draws thousands, especially of our younger people and their parents and grandparents that bring them down for that. It is a wonderful event. It is happening tonight from 6 to 8 o'clock in downtown. Touch a Truck involves almost all of our departments, and then of course there's equipment from other organizations and other entities from around the city as well. So we're glad to partner with Greer Station Association for the Touch a Truck event each year. Had the opportunity this evening to recognize Dan Reynolds, and we will have an additional opportunity on Thursday evening here at City Hall. Members of Team Greer from all of our departments will be coming by and saying farewell to Dan. As you are aware, Friday is his last day. Chief Hamby will begin his duties and responsibilities immediately upon the retirement of Chief Reynolds, and that transition has gone very smoothly, and so we were prepared for that. But we do hope that your schedule will allow you one more time on Thursday to stop by. We have a couple of special recognitions and presentations that we want to do for Chief Reynolds on Thursday as well. And that'll be here from 4:30 to 6:30 in City Hall, and it is a reception for employees and team members of the city of Greer. So we're looking forward to that. Friday will be a busy day here in the city. If you cannot join us personally, we encourage you to tune in to WSPA Channel 7. They will be highlighting the city of Greer. This will be their hometown recognition day. We will be recognized from 4:30 a.m. until about 6:30 or 8:30. I can't remember. But we're in there for a number of hours. When Steve comes out, he can make sure that I'm correct on that time frame. But we're doing 30-minute segments on Friday morning, and we have a number of pieces that will be highlighting us as a community. It is a wonderful opportunity. Again, we are partnering with Greer Station Association. Kyle from over there is taking the lead in organizing that for us. We're partnering with them as well as Greer CPW, the Chamber of Commerce, and other community groups. So we think it would be a wonderful showcase of our community on Friday morning.
It's 4:30 to 9.
Is it 4:30 to 9? Okay, thank you very much. Also, as we work through this week on Saturday, as a reminder, we have our opening day for our baseball program. That is always a wonderful annual event for us, but this year is especially sentimental for us, ceremonial for us as well. We will be dedicating the renovated and new facilities that are out there at Century Park. So we encourage you, if your schedule will allow for that, on Saturday for opening day. We would love to have you join our team there as well. And then last but not least, and we'll send you an additional reminder, but on June 3rd is our employee family picnic. That is an annual event that we've now done for a number of years, but it is a wonderful opportunity for us to gather here on the grounds at City Park and to recognize our team members and their families as we come together all as one group, and that will be happening on Saturday, June the 3rd. We do hope you'll be able to join us for that as well. I will have two matters in executive session that I would like to ask council's consideration of. One is a personnel matter involving the Building and Development Standards Department, and the other is a legal update concerning some pending litigation. That would conclude my report, except I would ask that Steve Owens would join us. As you are aware, Steve Steve, I'm sorry, I thought you were in the back room doing the Wizard of Oz stuff.
I'm the world's largest Indian.
That's why I kept looking in the back room. I thought you were back there doing the cameras. As you are aware, Steve produces our annual report each year, and it has continued to exceed expectations of all of us. It is an absolutely wonderfully informative document that highlights our activities from our calendar year, 2016. We've recently just issued a press release and have released that document, but we wanted to come in this evening and share pieces of that with you so that when you leave this evening, you can go to that as well and look at it. Steve, if I'm not mistaken, about 54 pages or so?
I believe that's right. 54 this year.
Finally, I got a number right. Thank you. All right. Very good. Steve, please.
Even if it weren't right, I was going to agree with you. Good evening, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem and Council. It is my privilege every March to come before you and roll out the city's annual report for the previous year. It's been 10 years since we have done a printed annual report, sent it to the offset printer and actually run it through the press. We found several benefits over the flip book style. We were among the first municipalities to do that, and we've had tremendous success for that for the last 7 years. Number one benefit that we found is that it's very cost efficient. We used to do the printed version with a budget of $16,000. Given what postage has done, you can only imagine where that would be right now. This cost an amazing figure of $55 to get up on the website. So we're very proud of it. The users may come, they may look at it online, view it through the flipbook format. They may download it at their pleasure as a PDF file. They may print it directly or print it from a PDF file. So it's very versatile, and we look forward to it. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the book this evening, but I do want to give you a teaser and hope that you will spend some time over the next few days going through it. Certainly we hope the community will as well. At the bottom of the page, you'll see some directions that we can manage, or you can click the bottom and it will just automatically do that. Gives a little page flip, so it's everything but paper cuts. Good-looking people on the first page there. You'll see the contents. We've changed things just a little bit with the editorial format this year, and you'll notice that more when we get to the departmental reports. The first part, we have the mayor's and city administrators' columns. Then you'll begin to see some news features that point out really some of the major news from the year. It allows us to have an opportunity to archive this and refer to it in the future. Keep on flipping here. See some work from different departments, building development standards, some awards that the city received this year. The fire department was very active in the Carolina Brotherhood Ride. You'll see some wonderful news about retail sales, downtown lighting project, the safe exchange zone that the police department did, everything from the trail system and the installation of bike racks to the work that Public Services did in Mount Pleasant after Hurricane Matthew. Pokemon Go obviously was a very fun summer. Chief Dan did not make the cover this year. Thought he might during his 2017 retirement tour, but we went with the arts this year. Thought he was probably getting enough love, so we did that. And future Chief Hamby on the left, you see stories about both of them. Citizens Fire Academy, the Tube Dude Art Project. We have just finished up our Giant Dude contest. That is in the judging phase with artist Scott Gerber, who you see on the lower right. We're looking forward to welcoming 8 additional Tube Dudes to town. It's a bit of a lengthy feature. The WYFF and Police Department City Achievement Award winner, their partnership on safety features and really showing police as important members of the community. And that obviously has spread out to the fire department, and we're looking at including some other departments as we move throughout the year. The arts obviously are large. It's not only a major part of the community master plan, but also the Art Center, Center for the Arts, you see on the right. And the artists are in there. We're having evenings. Robin Bayuk's doing a wonderful job of coordinating those, and we're looking forward to the next phase of construction there. So we get to the finance report, And the other departmental reports, you'll begin to see a change. Rather than lengthy blocks of text, we want smaller features this year, make it a little more readable, and people can actually scan to see what's going on. A lot of graphics, a lot of stories that I think will bring back some good memories. Construction at Century Park, in the athletics program. Police department obviously has had a busy year. Public services, Greer Development Corporation, and as always, we finish that out with the Greenville County Redevelopment Authority City Directory to help people find the staff member that may be best suited to help them. And a quote from Mayor Danner from our groundbreak, or actually our dedication here at City Hall. The tower reminds us of a time past as the clock continuously moves forward. This was a shot from a drone that one of our interns was flying around one day, and he was kind enough to share that with me. It's like, wow, we've never seen it from that direction. So that is our report for this year. Look forward to getting comments back. People do say that they love the flipbook style. I think that will evolve probably in the next 5 years to a new phase, and I think that will involve video. But we'll get to that point when we get to it. For now, Mr. Bettis put us onto the flipbook format, and we think it's working very well. Be glad to take any questions.
You did a great job.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Steve. Council, that brings us to old business, the second and final reading of ordinance number 11-2017, a 12th supplemental ordinance providing for the issuance and sale of City of Greer, South Carolina combined utility system refunding revenue bonds in one or more series in the aggregate principal amount of not exceeding $15,500,000. Authorizing the mayor or city administrator and the general manager of the Greer Commission of Public Works to determine certain matters with respect to the bonds, prescribing the form and details of the bonds, and other matters relating thereto. Any new information on this?
No, sir.
No. We'll entertain a motion to accept second reading.
So moved.
Second. We have a motion and a second. If there are no questions, Ms. Duncan.
Mr. Arrowood? Yes. Mr. Griffin?
Yes.
Ms. Booker? Yes. Mr. Dumas?
Yes.
Ms. Albert? Mr. Bettis?
Yes. Taking us to new business, we have a bid summary for dugout covers for Century Park. And I think Ms. Cunningham's going to tell us all about it.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem and Council. And I just want to say that I appreciate Steve sharing the love with the art. So that's pretty special. I didn't know that. So that's really nice. As far as the dugout covers, when the project was advertised, we personally informed Greer Awning and Siding and Greenville Awning of the project. And of course, it was also sent out to all the general contractors registered in the City of Greer's vendor registry. Greer Awning and Siding and LB Commercial Property Services were the only two companies that attended the mandatory pre-bid meeting on Thursday, March the 9th. Greer Awning and Siding was the only final bidder, and their bid is $13,200. And the attachment for the bid summary reflects that. Greer Awning and Siding has performed many projects for us in the past. Their performance has been exceptional and professional, and they are local. They do a really good job. We feel their bid of $13,200 is a fair price, and with Council's approval, we'd like to move forward with this project and award this project to Greer Awning and Siding. And I'd be glad to take any questions.
We'll entertain a motion to accept the bid. So moved. Motion and a second. Any questions for Ms. Cunningham? Guess not. Ms. Duncan?
Mr. Arrowood?
Yes.
Mr. Griffin?
Yes.
Ms. Booker?
Yes.
Mr. Dumas?
Yes.
Ms. Albert? Mr. Bettis?
Yes. Thank you, ma'am.
I do have one correction for the next presentation.
For
Just
the
wanted-
next presentation,
Yes,
for the Bankhead Highway roadside marker,
yes, sir.
what's your correction?
The correction is actually the location of the marker. It states in the agenda that it's actually in a landscape bed in the sidewalk at the corner of East Poinsett Street and Depot Street. Well, after further review and evaluation with Steve Grant and his staff members, we'd like to recommend just moving it to the outside of the bed. We think this will provide the public with more accessibility to the marker, and also a higher visibility for the historical marker because it would be placed closer to Poinsett Street. It's just a couple of feet over.
Duly noted. This is a request for approval to place a roadside marker outside a landscape bed in the sidewalk at the corner of East Poinsett Street and Depot Street. The marker will recognize the historical significance of East Poinsett and Depot Street, once part of the Bankhead Highway, the first all-weather transcontinental highway in the United States. And we have Dr. Thomas Maccabee here to enlighten us.
Mayor Pro Tem, honorable members of City Council, ladies and gentlemen, this request is for City Council's approval to place a new roadside marker in the City of Greer. The marker will be obtained from the South Carolina Department of Archives and History. No funds are needed from the City of Greer budget. A request for funding to pay for the cost of the marker has been submitted to the Citizens Building and Loan Community Foundation. The proposed marker will be located at the intersection of East Poinsett Street and Depot Street, a site recommended by Ann Cunningham and other city employees after studying possible locations. If approved by City Council, the City of Greer will need to provide the labor to install the marker at this location. The Joyce Scott chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution is supporting the marker, and Rosemarie Jordan is here tonight to represent them in this request. East Poinsett Street and West Point Street were part of the Bankhead Highway. In this area, the Bankhead Highway was often called the National Highway. Greer street maps in 1922 and 1930 refer to it as the National Highway. The section of West Poinsett Street west from Oakland Avenue on those maps says National Highway. And of course, in those days, West Poinsett Street was called Emma Street, named after, I'm told, the wife of one of the physicians in the town at the time. And East Poinsett Street was called Hill Street. The sponsoring organization will be identified as the Citizens Building and Loan Community Foundation. The Bankhead Highway, named for United States Senator John Hollis Bankhead, who helped to obtain passage by Congress of the Federal Aid Road Act of 1916, connected San Diego to Atlanta and then turned north to Washington, D.C. It was one of the first two transcontinental highways in the United States and is considered the first all-weather transcontinental highway in the United States. In South Carolina, Bankhead Highway crossed Upper South Carolina, connected Anderson, Greenville, Taylors, Chick Springs, Greer, Duncan, Spartanburg, and Gaffney. Poinsett Street was part of the Bankhead Highway, and until Wayhampton Boulevard and Interstate 85 were built, was actually part of the only highway that directly connected Atlanta to Charlotte. I want to thank Rosemarie Jordan for the support of the DAR for this project. I also want to acknowledge the assistance of Emily Sims, who volunteered to be the research assistant for this project. I ask for City Council's approval to add this marker to the City of Greer so all citizens can learn more about the historical importance of Poinsett Street. And I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Council, any questions for Dr. Maccabee?
No questions, but thank you for all your hard work on this.
I'm glad to do it.
Feels like you put a lot into it.
Thank you, sir. We'll entertain a motion. Already got a motion?
So moved.
Yeah, approved. Then we'll do a vote, Ms. Duncan.
Second. Do we have a second already?
We already did that, didn't we? Or not? No? Okay. We got a motion and a second then. Now we'll do a vote.
Mr. Arrowood,
Yes.
Mr. Griffin,
Yes.
Ms. Bookert,
Yes.
Mr. Dumas,
Yes.
Miss Albert, Mr. Bettis.
Yes. That brings us to first and final reading of resolution number 2-2017, the allocation of Greenville County CDBG and home funds for program year 2017. Mr. Sell.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Council, as you will recall, at your previous meeting, we held a public hearing regarding the CDBG and home funding allocation budget for the 2017-2018 program year. Ms. Ima Nwabadu, the program manager at Greenville County Redevelopment Authority, held that public hearing and provided council information regarding recommendations for those allocations, as well as the subrecipient funding for the upcoming year. The information contained in your resolution remains unchanged from what was presented during the public hearing, but that information is contained in your packet for your review. With that, if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
Council, any questions for Mr. Sell regarding the way it has been laid out to distribute the funds?
How is these subrecipient funds, because I guess most of these applicants, they're here every year, correct?
Yes, sir.
How is this different from last year? I know that one of them is different. Helping Hands of Greer. I think we amended last year, correct? We moved some dollars around. The same recipients stayed in, but we moved a few dollars around.
I seem to recall that, Mr. Arrowood. I don't know the exact how that was accomplished, but I do know that last year's budget was $2,000 for the Helping Hands.
Right. I have no other questions.
Okay. Anyone else? We need a vote on this, correct?
Yes, sir.
We'll entertain a motion and a second to accept this.
I'll move.
I have a motion
Second.
and a second. Ms. Duncan?
Mr. Arrowood,
Yes.
Mr. Griffin,
Yes.
Ms. Bookert,
Yes.
Mr. Dumas,
Yes.
Miss Albert, Mr. Bettis.
Yes.
Thank you, Council.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
D is the disposal of city property, and the chief is apparently requesting permission to dispose of a truck, and I'll let him explain it. All right?
Mayor Pro Tem, members of council, what we're requesting is a truck that was previously slated for disposal through GovDeals. It's a 2008 Ford F-250 that was previously used for medical responses. It's a four-door crew cab with a 8-foot bed. As you can imagine, those of you who have driven similar vehicles, it's also very large and hard to maneuver. So it was slated for disposal, but we had to clear up a couple things with the title. So that's why we're presented this opportunity tonight to actually offer it to Tiger River Fire Department. They have a mobile cascade system for filling breathing air cylinders on scene of incidents, which that's a capability we don't currently have. So we have asked that we present this to you and ask permission to be able to donate that apparatus or that truck to them rather than put it on GovDeals. And in return for that, they are going to provide that piece of equipment to us anywhere in the city that we need it, anytime that's available. Obviously, if it's already tied up, that would be a problem. but any other time, they will provide that to us anywhere we need it in exchange. So much like the opportunity we had back when we donated the fire truck to Woodruff, and Woodruff donated their truck to the Harley Bond Center, this is another opportunity for us to help in the community, and in return also provide additional help back to us rather than just put it on Gov Deals. So that is the request.
We need to vote on this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we'll entertain a motion.
Motion.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Any questions for Chief Flowers?
Since they are going to be creating this mobile fill station, does that mean you're not going to ever ask us for a mobile fill station?
As long as we have the facilities afforded to us, then it will not be my choice to come in front of you and request that. Just to be clear, they already have this unit. It's trailer based, and the issue is they don't have a way to pull it. So it was an opportunity to be able to provide a vehicle that they can pull without them having to go and buy specifically a vehicle to do that.
Mike, on Gov Deals, what do you think this truck would bring? Because it's I just know on the regular market it's pretty valuable.
Sherwood, I don't have any information in regard to what I think that we can get it on Gov Deals. I think I could probably go back and take a look at similar vehicles that we dispose of to our department and get that information to you. It was scheduled for Gov Deals last year, but we had a title search issue, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct.
That we cleared up on that vehicle.
That's correct. Yeah, this is not a new item that's slated. It was already slated for disposal.
And the item they're providing, what's the cost to the trailers?
It really depends on whether it has a mobile compressor, which this particular one doesn't. So it's a cascade system. But for us to purchase a similar would be probably in the neighborhood of $20,000-$30,000 without a compressor.
How often do we use something like that?
We don't use it at all right now because we don't have that opportunity. So I mean,
how often would we use it?
There's been opportunities because we've had to clear up units to bring bottles back to the station where we do have a fill station capability. Last year we ran, I believe, around 40 structure fires. So any one of those could be an opportunity. It just depends on how long it takes us to get the incident under control and how many cylinders we have to go through. So I don't have an exact number.
Historically, Ms. Duncan manages our Gov Deals program. Historically, equipment like that, we would anticipate Gov Deals, if we have good bidding, would be probably somewhere in the $4,000 to $6,000 range. But that is always subject to who's bidding at the time that an item is out there. When Chief Flowers brought this idea to me, obviously we knew that we needed to, as disposing of an asset of the city, it was a final decision of council. Our perspective of that is that it was another opportunity for us to continue our partnership with neighboring stations. It was an unknown for us on what could happen on the Gov Deals side, and we support it. We think it is beneficial to our neighbor department, and we think it brings benefit to us as well. The trade-off would be put it on the market and see what we would get in a bid process for it. And we certainly respect the right for us, for your choice for us to do that. We have no problem with that whatsoever. Again, it is a disposal of a city asset, and that is a responsibility of council.
Absolutely.
Anyone else? If not, Ms. Duncan.
Mr. Airwood?
Yes.
Mr. Griffin?
Yes.
Ms. Bookert?
Yes.
Mr. Dumas?
Yes.
Ms. Albert? Mr. Bettis?
Yes. Once again, Chief, this is for you, a resolution adopting the City of Greer annual safety statement.
Yes, sir. There are no changes from the previous statement. As you're aware, we do this every year to reiterate our stance from a city standpoint, and also reiterate that to our employees as well as our community. So there's no changes from last year.
Council will entertain a motion and a second.
A motion? Second.
We have so. Any comment or questions regarding the safety statement? If not, Ms. Duncan.
Arrowood,
Yes.
Mr. Griffin,
Yes.
Ms. Booker,
Yes.
Mr. Dumas,
Yes.
Ms. Albert, Mr. Bettis.
Yes. First and final reading of resolution number 5-2017, a resolution to update the City of Greer blood-borne pathogen standard to comply with occupational safety and health administration request. You again, Chief.
Again, same here. There's no changes from the previous year. Bloodborne pathogens, falls hand in hand with our safety. We just have those as two separate resolutions. So again, there's no changes, but it's just to reiterate our stance for our employee safety and that of the community.
Entertain a motion.
A motion? Second.
A motion and a second. Any questions regarding this this thing that comes up every year?
Boy, you have a way of explaining
I don't have any intelligent ones. If there are none. Ms. Duncan?
Mr. Arrowood,
Yes.
Mr. Griffin,
Yes.
Ms. Booker,
Yes.
Mr. Dumas, Ms. Albert, Mr. Bettis.
Yes. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
We will retire to executive session where we'll have a personnel matter and a legal update. Do I have a motion to go to executive session?
So move.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Ms. Duncan?
Mr. Arrowood,
Yes.
Mr. Griffin,
Yes.
Ms. Booker,
Yes.
Mr. Dumas,
Yes.
Ms. Albert, Mr. Bettis.
Yes. We took information on one legal and one personnel item in executive session. We took all kind of votes, and we settled it. We took no votes, took no action, and we'll not do any. I need a motion to come out of executive session.
So moved.
Second. We got a motion and a second. Ms. Duncan?
Yes.
Mr. Griffin, Ms. Booker,
Yes.
Mr. Dumas,
Yes.
Ms. Albert, Mr. Bettis.
Yes. If there's no other business, I'll call this meeting adjourned.